the lasso around your neck. Know that I feed on your love. I beg and I plead for your love. Cut down family trees. You don't look my way. And salty tears gave my best years. You don't look my way. Who made the stars cross up in the sky? Who've got you singing on the tune? Who made your heart skip a beat away from mine? Who put lasso around the moon? Where do I go without your love? What do I have to show without your love? Who do I know? I don't know you. Please set me free from this love. Lord, rescue me from this love. You're all I see. You don't look my way. Who made the stars cross up in the sky? Who got you singing the new tune? Who made your heart skip a beat away from mine? Who put lasso around the moon? Where do I go without your love? What do I have to show without your love? Who do I know? I don't know you. Please set me free from this love. Lord, rescue me from this love. You're all I see. You don't look my way. I am going to check. It's on. The mic is on. So weird, because I did a sound check. And it sounded fine. Hello, everyone. This is Lisa Jeanette, and this is Every Wednesday But One. Thank you for the love. Hey, Beck and Tim, Karen Schneiderman, Kat and Dennis, Donna W., my brother John is in the house, or in his house, in some house. Thanks for the love. All right, I'm a little concerned that my vocals, hold on. I'm a little concerned about my vocals. Da-da-dun-dun. You don't look my way. You don't look my way. You don't look my way. Check. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to yell. I wanted to check and see. I think I might have turned them down a little bit because I was afraid of clipping. That's probably what happened. It's fixed? Okay. Thanks, Dennis. Very cool. Welcome to Every Wednesday But One. I am Lisa Jeanette. Tonight is Beatnik Night, which I think will be fun and hopefully won't insult anyone. Okay, good. All right, cool. All right. This is a song about Clara Schumann. She was a composer and a virtuoso pianist. She was a touring musician in the mid-19th century. She lived in Germany. She toured England, the Netherlands, Russia. She was married to Robert Schumann, who was the premier composer of his day. He was the kingmaker. And one day, Johannes Brahms, known as JoJo in this song, knocked on their door and rocked their world. And to the kingmaker. Of all the kings he chooses, JoJo's a ball breaker. He's a heart taker, and they call him the darling of the muses. As I entered the parlor, JoJo sat at the piano, with diamonds in his eyes and his hair was a halo. And he began to play like nothing you'd ever heard. It was crazy, it wasn't too loud, it made everything sound good, and there was no problems with it. The king is in the counting house, counting all the voices in his head. JoJo kisses my children at night and tucks them into bed. Traded swings for days, took evening walks after tea. Nothing happened, I'm ashamed, there was no impropriety. But he does give me a charge, and he blows all my fuses. How did I fall in love with the darling of the muses? Tongue started wagging after me and my kids. I wish I'd had half the fun that they'd imagined that I did. But I got bills to pay, I got work to do. Ain't it funny how JoJo didn't get a scarlet letter too? The king is in the counting house, counting all the voices in his head. JoJo kisses my children at night and tucks them into bed. Kingmaker laughed me when he jumped into the rhyme. The voices in his head were so much stronger than mine. But I loved him with a vengeance, every moment here or gone. He left me with JoJo, but he also left me all alone. The king is in the counting house, counting all the voices in his head. And when he took his last breath, I turned to JoJo and said, let's take a trip together, but he blew his kisses to me. He said he'd rather be alone or as long as he was free. Now my heart is broken twice, and it's left with all those bruises. How did I fall in love with the darling of the muses? And now I'm in the counting house, counting all the voices in my head. And now I'm in the counting house, counting all the voices in my head. And now I'm in the counting house. That is correct. Clara Schumann was not a beatnik. She was at least 100 years too early to do that. Although she definitely, if you think of beatnik as kind of anti-cultural, she was a working mother, which back in 1850s and 60s was not a thing. So you could say she was also counterculture in a way, because it was not the culture of a woman in Germany in the mid-1800s to be a working mother and touring musician. That was not a thing. And when I think about it, it's incredible, actually, because I remember when I started playing the bass, it was like, mid-1980s. There were hardly any female basses, and still, like, now it's like a thing. Like, you can like follow lots of these female basses on like Instagram, and that's kind of cool. But okay, good. Thanks, Dennis. Thank you for all the love. But back, when I first started playing bass, there weren't a lot of orchestral women bass players. There just weren't that many. So there weren't that many people of color. My teacher, Henry Scott, he played in the Philadelphia Orchestra. He was like one of the two first people of color to play in the orchestra. So, it's amazing when you think about Clara Schumann doing what she was doing back in 1850. It's just crazy. It's crazy stuff. So how did I decide to play bass? So I went to a show at the high school I was going to, and I saw this girl, and she played cello. She was the first cellist. And then at one point, she put her cello down, and she went over to the piano, and she played on the piano, and she may have played the organ, and I was like, I want to be her. So I wanted to play the cello. And when it was time to pick the instruments, the the orchestra teacher at my high school said, "You have bass fingers." Now, I definitely don't have violin fingers, but I do not have bass fingers. I think it was a matter of my size because I was larger, and you had to be strong and carry the thing. I think that's what she was going for. So I really actually wanted to play the cello, but once I got to the bass, I had so much fun, and I loved playing it, and it was good. Um, and it's funny, my teacher, Henry Scott, he once told me the reason, um, oh yeah, Carol Burnett, I remember that. That was a sign to her mother, like to say I love you or something to her mother, I believe, Carol Burnett, when she would pull her ear. Um, he said that it was just the beauty of the instrument was what attracted him. It's a beautiful instrument. It definitely is visually beautiful. But okay, so I think I'm going to play for you. This is a co-write when it's actually, so in high school, the same high school where I started playing bass, I had a classmate. Her name was Ann Walsh. Now her name is Ann Walsh Miller. She's a poet now. She lives in Australia. She was brilliant back then. And this is probably the worst bullying I ever did, but I called her Ann Britannica because she was so smart. So that's the way I would bully someone. I would call them smart. But she was like, and she was just incredible. Her voice, just her speaking voice. When you say like, oh, that person could sing the phone book, she could sing. She could say the phone book and mesmerize you. So she had this poem, and she got published in a book of a collection of poems. 2 of her poems are in it. I probably have it here somewhere, and I do have it here somewhere. Hold on. It is right here because I'm still working on this song. It's not a done deal yet. It is called Australian Love Poems, 2013, edited by Mark Trednick. And she has 2 poems in here, and one was called Child's Play, and it just really spoke to me at the time. It's a couple years back, and I wrote this song, and I kind of put it away. I have a YouTube of it, but I'm going to play it now. It's still a work in progress. It's not quite there yet. I put my hand on my stomach because I ache for you there. The soul must sit on the stomach, but the soul must sit everywhere because I ache for you everywhere. Oh, I don't have enough hands to hold the ache of you. I don't have enough hands to hold the ache of you. I don't have enough hands to hold the ache of you that falls everywhere on me like this. You're in the bend of my elbow, the curve of my ribcage, the earth of my voice. How did I misgauge the burn of you? Is lower still. You're written in me in the language of antiquity, like snow landing on me, so thickly that you're on me and in me and on my tongue. You on my tongue is why I talk beautifully, like snow under a street lamp. Oh, I don't have enough hands to hold the ache. I don't have enough hands to hold the ache. I don't have enough hands to hold the ache of you. that falls everywhere on me like this, that falls everywhere on me like this. That is called Child's Play. The words are from Anne Walsh Miller. And yeah, Anne, I used to, not Anne Britannica, but Anne Britannica. I used to call her. She was so smart, and and then I see her publish poetry, and I'm just like, of course, of course. And she, I had her in we had an AP English class or something, and she just was wonderful. And I do have a different. Oh, thank you so much. I think it is. The words are just gorgeous. Like the way I think I stole from her. Actually, I'll play it now. A line, or I got it. I don't know whether she had this line or that song made me think of this line. To think of how it goes. There it is. So this song. Oh, thanks, Kat. Thanks, Beck and Tim. Thanks, everyone. The best love songs are not about the living, how hearts held hands and then took wing and soared above a cotton candy land. The best love songs, they don't leave you standing tall. You can barely stand at all as you rise to get up from the fall. The best love songs, they're not sung by anyone. They remain under your tongue. For years they melt away, till there comes a foggy day. You forget your misery, and misery wants company, and you oblige with your knowing smile, and every moment now beguiled with caution rides the wind. You can't hear how the hourglass is ticking sand, and like sand love falls through your hands, and with it you fall down. The best love songs, they're not the ones that make you cry, not the ones that make you sigh. They remain under your tongue, never heard by anyone. The best love songs are never sung. Thank you. So that's one of my songs called The Best Love Song, but the whole idea of under your tongue, I think she uses that in a different poem, or that whole idea where she says, you on my tongue. And it made me think of the things that are on our tongue are the things we don't say that are under the tongue. She has a way of, oh, thanks so much. Thank you. Hey, Karen Hall. Jenny French, and I'm sorry, Eric is sick. Hey, Kay Kelly. Thank you so much. Now it's a new portion of the set, which is called Question. So I have this game that I've never used, and I thought that I would have some thought-provoking questions. It's called the Chat Pack. Chat Pack. So I'm going to just randomly pick a question, and then you can see if you want to answer it. If the daytime high temperature had to be exactly the same every day of the year, what would you want the temperature to be? That's the question. If the daytime high temperature had to be exactly the same every day, what would you want that to be? So put your answer in the chat. We could all talk about how we like the cold or the heat or the mid. range. 70. Hi, Dot. My sister Dot's here. 72 with low humidity. I love that. I love that caveat with low humidity. 80. Oh my gosh, Jenny and Karen. Holy crap. 80. Wow. 77. Dennis, you're up there too. Wow. Interesting. I'm probably 70-ish because I like to walk, and sometimes when I walk, I get overheated. So if it's 80, it's too hot. But if it's fine though. I can walk in 80. I mean, I wish it were 80 right now. Um, 77, 70, 80. Oh my gosh, that is so crazy. It's a wonder how every day is a new portrait. We get to paint it, often without much care. Some days we find that we've painted a weed, some days a fine orchid. Brush stroking blindly, we stumble on something rare. But this day I've put aside to create with intention, rather than run from fear or try to hide. I've got a new canvas with some easel to lean on, and I'm painting you next to me by my side. Sometimes an artist will paint the landscape they see right before them. Looks so real you can imagine you're there. Sometimes they paint with visions and dreams, abstract and foreign, taking your heart on a journey, who knows where. I can paint it surreal for the parts that I'm not free to mention, with as much honesty as we both can abide. I've got a new canvas with some easel to lean on, and I'm painting you next to me by my side. If I could inhabit a painting, which one would I choose to? The skies of Van Gogh or the fields of Monet? But I've come to the truth. This is the frame I belong to, and that someone's painting me a little late. My colors may fade, my body may break, my mind lose dimension. The persistence of time never lets you stay long for the ride. I've got a new canvas, it's old easel to lean on, and I'm painting you next to me by my side. And when the story is over, when the paint dries, when all that's left are those observing to decide, will they see satisfaction in my eyes when they look at my portrait? Thank you. I love people in the chat saying it's like one of your favorites. It's one of my favorites. Definitely, it's just taking every day and painting it the way you want. So I have a new song alert. I'm trying to get better with my signage. Like, I think Q got very sophisticated. Very sophisticated. This was my first sign. New song alert. But, thank you, Kat. That's so beautiful. New song. So this is just brand spanking new, like days old. And I haven't even taken it for coaching from Vance or anything like that. It is so new. I'm probably going to stumble a little bit. It's still written on the copybook page like this. It's not even like typed up. It stays old, but I thought, hey, you guys like to hear new stuff, so. in progress. It's not his fault that my baggage was delivered here. I packed that suitcase way down in a puddle of tears. And he doesn't understand why I flinch when he's mad, when he's in his own bag. It's not my fault that I can't seem to change this hard heart. My small emotional range, it's funny or it's hard. And I can't understand why I can't cry when there's loud and there's not a dry eye. How do you heal a wound that you can't see? You only know it's there because it bleeds under the skin. It's not his fault, he knew what he knew to do. People do better when they're shown something new to do. And he'll never understand about love. So we try that again. And he'll never understand about love. Doesn't have to hurt, doesn't have to be one. It's not your fault, you're not to blame. I'm not your judge and I carry my own shame. And I can't understand, I forgive, I live and let live. Still there's fear. How do you heal the wound that you can't see? You only know it's there because it bleeds under the skin. So that's a baby song. It's like days old, and it's not done. It needs some editing, but yeah. At least I'm writing. At least I'm writing. Is it? Oh my gosh! It is sing along time, and it's Beatnik week. All right. So, thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. Yes, I'll take late applause. I'll take silent applause, which actually is kind of what this is going on here. Aw, thanks, Kat. Yeah, it's just a baby song. I haven't been writing a lot at all, and it gets to be like this happens with all writers. Like I don't even think just songwriters, but all right, and some of you are songwriters, and some of you are writers. You think maybe I wrote my last song, like maybe I don't have any more. I don't know. And I'm not one of those disciplined people that sit down and write every day, and I am waiting for the muse, which is not a good way to be. It's better to be disciplined, but Beatnik. Okay, I can talk about that. And brand spanking new. Maybe that's like, how they used to spank a baby on the butt when it was born, which, thanks, first thing I experienced in life. So he smacks me on the butt. Yeah, Jenny. Well, okay, so let me, for some more reason, my presentation went away. So let me bring that back up. Oh, there we go. Um, Beatnik night. So I am going to give a caveat right now to say I wasn't there, and I really don't know what the whole beatnik thing is about. Before I go on, though, I want to say I've been thinking about Andy S. all day. I hope he's doing well. I know he had a thing today, a health thing, and I just I've been thinking about him. I haven't heard yet anything, but I'm gonna send an email and just tell him I'm thinking of him because I've been thinking about him all day. I know he was anxious. So anyway, beatnik night. So when I started looking into this beatnik thing, I got obsessed. I stayed up till 4 a.m. on Sunday night. I just couldn't stop reading about it. It was like fascinating to me, and in some ways, it was like watching a car crash. Yeah, I've been thinking about them. It was like watching a car crash because it's like, oh my gosh, this gets dark. The beatnik move, and so beatnik, what beatnik? Oh, actually, I think I have slides on this rather than me trying to struggle. So, what is a beatnik? It's a person who participated in a social movement. Now, they're calling it a social movement here, but a lot of people say it was a literary movement. It wasn't a social movement. And the social part of it was just how, like, the way I wear tie-dye. Like, I wasn't really a part of that, but, it became a social thing for people to wear tie-dye. Then it became like a gay thing for people to wear tie-dye, and I still wore tie-dye because I don't really care what people think. Whatever, gender fluid. But not really. God, why do I get myself in trouble? I just went through a training today where it says, like, people of my social style tend to talk too much. Oh, yeah, you should snap. Cool, Daddy-o. Snap. Oh, it was a lot of poetry, and I am not going to read the poetry because, first of all, some of it is like an epic poem, and they're long, and wait till I sing the song, you'll love it. But so the whole term beatnik, it was ascribed to herb. I always say that wrong word. That word wrong. The wrong word. I always say that word wrong because I want to say herb. I want to say herb, but it's herb. So like herb cane, which is really herb. Yes. There's Gilligan right there. He was Dobie Gillis. My sister Val emailed me about that. Yeah, everybody's giving you a shout out, and yes, if you watch this on the replay, we're all thinking of you. And some people attributed it to him. Some people said it was a combination of beat and Sputnik, and beat meant like, beat, like, my shoes are beat, they're worn. Some people think that term is from something to do with African American slaves. I don't know of any of that. Yeah, and adding the nick, they said that maybe that was like a Yiddish thing. So there's all kinds of people think things, and who knows what the truth is. I know that some of the beatniks took offense to the word beatnik. They were okay with beat generation, but beatnik was like a slur to them. Like they didn't like it. So, which, this goes on. So this song, I thought, just describes it all. It's the goofiest, silly, misogynistic song ever, but if you know it, sing along. It's called Beatnik Daddy, sung by Barbara Evans. I couldn't find who wrote it. It's pretty obscure. I got a beatnik daddy and he's awful cute. He wears dark glasses and a wrinkled suit. He's got the fuzziest little beard that you'll ever see. And every time we kiss, it tickles me. Beatnik daddy, ooh, you dapper, ooh, you papa, kiss me quick. Beatnik daddy, I wanna be your beatnik chick. He wrote me a poem and it goes like this. The moon is a kiss, is a kiss, is a kiss. A kiss is a rose, is a rose, is a rose. I don't know what it means, but I bet he knows. Beatnik beatnik daddy. Ooh, you papa, kiss me quick. Beatnik daddy, I wanna be your beatnik chick. I don't know what, I think what does it say? Does it say he hasn't got a job? I'm going to do that first. He hasn't got a job, he hasn't got a dime, 'cause work interferes with his leisure time. But when it comes to jazz, he's really hip. You know he even talks in stereo. I messed that up. Beatnik daddy, ooh you papa, kiss me quick. Beatnik daddy, I wanna be your beatnik chick. I wanna be your beatnik chick. I wanna be your beatnik chick. Kind of misogynistic. A little bit crazy. So we're gonna play a game. That's another thing. Female beatniks. We're gonna get to that too. But we're gonna play a game called Guess Who's the Beatnik. All right, are you ready for this? You can put it in the chat. Here we go. Guess who is the beatnik? Is it Jack Kevorkian or Jack Kerouac? I know, Karen. I know. Yeah. So I get these two people mixed up. So I thought I'd do a public service announcement and clear it all up. Jack Kevorkian or Jack Kerouac? Yes, Kerouac is the beatnik. Dot, you win. Ding, ding. Oh, Jenny, you win too. Ding, 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 ding. Kerouac, yeah, he, see, I can't see my notes very well, but he coined the term beat generation, from what I understand, but did not like beatnik. He did not like that word. I don't know Jack. Yes, Kerouac. Why I get Kerouac and Kevorkian mixed up is like probably an ADD thing. I don't know. But he died very young, age of 47, he had, I think, an addiction to heroin and heavy drinking. And see, there's like a real sad part of this story. But he's the most famous one, Cadillac. Mispronunciation. Oh yes, Kevorkian gets rid of the beatniks. Okay, we can put that one up. Yes, so this is a preemptive. Yes, that is what Kevorkian does. So, yeah. So I understand it now. I get it. And here's Kevorkian. He publicly championed terminal patients' right to die, and dying is not a crime was his whole thing. And he spent 8 years in prison because he was convicted on there's many people that he helped, 130 or something like that, helped them along. So, okay, next one. Who is the beatnik? Allen Greenspan and Allen Ginsberg. And again, I get these two mixed up. I get these two names mixed up all the time. So, guess who's the beatnik? Is it Allen Greenspan or Allen Ginsberg? Ginsberg. Yes. Yes, Ginsberg is the beatnik. So Ginsberg, I found him very interesting. I think he lived the longest. He was, I'm trying to read my thing. He published Howl, which really was a breakthrough kind of poem because it talked about heterosexual and homosexual sex. He got charged on obscenity charges, and I think he may have done some jail time too. But yeah, that was including several of his wives. What, Kevorkian killed several of his wives? Interesting. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay, Allen Greenspan, he wasn't a beatnik. Although he could fit in. He has like the glasses and dark clothes. But he was, and I thought this was interesting. I didn't know this. He was known for presiding over the Great Moderation, which I didn't know that's what they were calling it. And the Great Moderation ended in 2008 when the housing crisis made me have to short sale my home. So, but while Alan Greenspan was in charge, we didn't have any problems. It was pretty good. It was the moderation era. Okay, William Burroughs or William Tell? Who is the beatnik? So, oh, Alan Greenspan was a banker. Yeah, that's the opposite of a beatnik, really, because they were supposed to be like into not material things. So, anybody know William Burroughs or William Tell? Burroughs, yes. So William Burroughs, he is a fascinating character. But Bill, or they called him Bill Burroughs, I think. Natch? What? I don't know what that is. Natch. But he killed his wife. And it's like really confusing. And the other thing about these folks is a lot of them were very wealthy. William Burroughs was the grandson of William. Oh, let me do this for a minute. William S. Burroughs Sr., who Rich used to work for that company, Burroughs. I was like, Rich, where's your Burroughs? He had a different one, I think, but it's the Burroughs Cup, and it's I'm not showing this right, but anyway, it says first customer shipment, July 1983, Tredyffrin, Pennsylvania. So I guess that's when they opened up their Tredyffrin thing. But Burroughs sang for REM. I'm not sure about that. But Burroughs became Unisys. So yeah, William Burroughs was of that fortune and fame. And he said at a party that he was doing a William Tell trick and had his wife put a shot glass on her head. And he's like, you know, that trick we do, and he shot her in the head. And didn't even realize that he did it and was still like partying or whatever. And yeah, she died. So crazy. But he was really wealthy. And I think this happened. He'd been in jail. He'd moved to Mexico. I think this happened in Mexico City. And he just got out of Mexico so he couldn't be charged with it. I think bribed people because he had money. And so when I started hearing these stories, I'm like, oh my God, these guys, like, they might have been creative and John, yeah, she died. They may have been creative and they may have pushed the boundary of like what the FCC, is that what it's called? The people, whatever the people that monitor obscenities on the air, like they pushed those boundaries. They went to jail for it. And just being able to talk about sex and heterosex and homosexual sex and, you know, whatever. So I can't see my bullets, but fascinating. I thought it was fascinating. So William Tell, he was also, he was not a beatnik, but he was counterculture. Like he kind of, I don't know, I can't see my notes. FCC, thank you. But he shot, supposedly he's a legend, and a Swiss legend, I believe. It's in those notes on the page, but yes, Jenny. So, but I see William Tell as being also countercultural because he went against the man. I'll just put it that way. The women of beatniks, were there women beatniks? Yes. So Joan Vollmer was the wife of Bill Burroughs, and she's the one that got shot. It was weird because he said he was like, oh, we were doing this trick, and then people are saying he told people there was never a trick, like, and then he told people that that's not what really happened. It's got all convoluted, so it's just bizarre. And then Joanne Cougar, she like up until like the late teens, 2000 teens, was still giving speeches and stuff. But yeah, she wrote like 30 novels and wrote a lot of prose, a lot of diary kind of things. And then Carolyn Cassidy was not necessarily a beatnik writer, but she wrote books about her time with Jack Kerouac and Neil Cassidy, who were friends. And apparently, Carolyn Cassidy and Neil Cassidy were married, and Carolyn was in love. She loved her husband, Neil, and she loved Jack Kerouac, and Jack Kerouac loved her husband, Neil. Loved her as well. So they had some kind of like poly thing going on, polyamorous. Yeah, so now it's time. Yeah, and Jenny, that is, yeah, I don't know about Cougar. I don't think she was older. I think she was their age. In all seriousness, Burroughs performed with the group Ministry on the song Just One Fix. Now, so it's interesting. What I've heard about Burroughs is that, and these people could have also been musicians, and apparently he was, but Burroughs really got seriously into writing after he killed his wife. I mean, it got him like super focused in being a writer, and he got more serious about it. These are just guys that hung around. Oh, so I think it was Joanne Cougar. What was her name? Joanne Cougar, or Kiger. She owned the apartment where everybody hung out, or rented the apartment where everybody hung out. She was like very philosophical and would start conversations and get into all these really serious philosophical conversations. But yeah, so Tiger, man, maybe a tiger. But yeah, Beatnik rejected the social mores of normal, whatever that was, society, and they were the predecessor of the 60s, of the hippies. So I did not know that. And it started after World War II, the Beatnik movement, and it was just against, because of war. Same with the hippie generation was after Vietnam. So it's interesting how war preceded these things as well. But that's right. Oh, I was supposed to be wearing my Beatnik glasses. I don't know if I can still see. But anyway, yeah. So I know there's this one movie with Jack Nicholson. I think it's a Christmas movie. Oh, gosh, my friend Kimberly would know it. But it's with Shirley. No, not Shirley MacLaine. Is it? I don't know. But anyway, Jack Nicholson, and he plays like bongos on a stage, and it's very, I forget the name of it. It's a Christmas movie. Anyway, Beatnik sing along. All right. Different drums. So this is not. So one of my friends were like, "Oh, so you're going to sing Bob Dylan and Joan Baez?" And I was like, "No, different drum is like the Beatniks. They walk to a beat of a different drum." I need a guitar. So that's why I will play this song, who was written by Michael Nesmith, a monkey, as in Hey Hey, we're the monkeys. Sing along. You and I travel to the beat of a different drum. Oh, can't you tell by the way I run? Every time you make eyes at me. Oh, you cry, moan and say it'll all work out. But honey child, I got my doubts. Can't see the forest for the trees. Now don't get me wrong, it's not that I knock it, it's just that I'm not in the market for a boy who wants to love only me. Yes, and I ain't saying you ain't pretty. All I'm saying is I'm not ready for any person, place, or thing. Try to pull the reins in on me. So goodbye, I believe and I see no sense. Just crying and grieving, we'll both live a lot longer if you live without me. Oh, you and I travel to the beat of a different drum. Oh, can't you tell by the way I run? Every time you make eyes at me. Oh, you cry and moan and say it'll all work out. But honey child, I got my doubts. Can't see the forest for the trees. So don't get me wrong, it's not that I knock it, it's just that I'm not in the market for a boy who wants to love only me. yes, and I ain't saying you ain't pretty. All I'm saying is I'm not ready for any person, place, or thing. Try to pull the reins in on me. So goodbye. I believe and I see no sense. Just crying and grieving. We'll both live a lot longer if you live without me. You live without me. Yes, you have to admit that you had the Monkees album. My sisters were very, very, very big Monkees fans. Not Dot so much, I don't think. Jenny French, your grandfather was a novelist in Greenwich Village in the 50s. Wow, that's amazing. That is really cool. And your dad was a pilot. Very, very cool. I was going to do this song on bass, but I took my bass out and I realized what's wrong with it now. It's the seam is open. So I didn't really want to play it. I don't want to make it, but I finally figured out where the buzzing's coming. Wow. Oh yeah, my sister Dot danced with Mickey Dolenz. I think he was in a production of Grease or something, and I forget exactly what it was, but she was in the audience and he came down and danced with her. That's really funny. If you ever saw the Monterey Pop Fest, Mickey Dolenz is in the crowd. Interesting. Wow. This chat is always a font of amazing information. I just love it. Oh, I have to change the thing. So I was going to do this. Oh, see, I was going to have a scene change because I was going to do it on bass, but here we are. The beat goes on. I think this is very much like a beatnik sort of song for some reason. The beat goes on. The beat goes on. Drums keep pounding rhythm to the brain. La-da-da-da-dee. La-da-da-da-die. Charleston was once the rage, History has turned the page, Mini skirts, the current thing, Teeny bopper is our newborn king, The beat goes on. The beat goes on. Drums keep pounding rhythm to the brain. La-da-da-da-dee. La-da-da-da-die. The grocery stores, the supermarket. I love these words. They're so dated. Little girls still break their hearts. Men keep marching off to war. Some of it's not dated. Electrically, they keep a baseball score. And the beat goes on. The beat goes on. Drums keep pounding rhythms to the brain. La-da-da-da-dee. La-da-da-da-die. Grandma sit in chairs and reminisce. Boys keep chasing girls to get a kiss. Cars keep going faster all the time. Thumbs still cry, "Hi, buddy, have you got a dime?" And and the beat goes on. The beat goes on. Buns keep bouncing rhythm to the brain. La da 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 dee, la da 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 die. Oh my gosh, I love the Sonny and Cher show. That was like one of my favorite things to see on TV and when I was a kid. Oh my heavens. So yeah, I really did like songs with the beat in the title kind of things, except for this one. This next one, I think could really be. I can't believe I'm doing this song. All right, here we go. If you know it, sing along. Oops, there's no C change because I didn't use the bass. Here we go. The House of Bamboo. Number 54, the house with the bamboo door, bamboo roof and bamboo walls. They even got a bamboo floor. You must get to know Soho Joe. He runs an espresso called the House of Bamboo. It's made of sticks and bricks. You can get your kicks in the House of Bamboo. In this casino, you can drink a chino and a scotcha, swing into the cha-cha, dance the bolero with a sombrero and shake like a snake. You ought to drop in when the hops are hopping. Get your 2 feet moving to the big beat. Pick yourself a kitten and listen to the planner that rocks the jukebox. I'm telling you, when you're blue, there's a lot to do in the House of Bamboo. In this casino, you can drink a chino and a scotcha, swing into the cha-cha, dance the bolero and in a sombrero and shake like a snake. You ought to stop in when the cats are hopping. Let your 2 feet move to the big beat. Pick yourself a kitten and listen to the patter that rocks the jukebox. I'm telling you, when you're blue, there's a lot to do in the House of Bamboo. Ah, la fin. Oh wait, where's my? I have to put. Hold on. I can't get all these props and not use them. This is la fin. Wait, la fin. The end. Where did I get that song, House of Bamboo? From Valerie, I think. She used to make me mixtapes that we would play in the car when we would take trips, like cassette tapes when they had like cassette tape players and guitar in cars. And that was one of the songs she found. It's an Andy Williams song. The end of the sing along. Yes, we. It is the end of the sing along. Oh my, this was so fun. Uh, um, yeah, I love that show. Oh, John, you were almost treated to beat it. That was one of the songs I was considering, and like I was gonna do it, Jesse. They told him, don't you ever come around here. Don't wanna see your face, you better disappear. The fire's in their eyes and the words are really clear. So beat it, just be. I decided not to do this one for obvious reasons. But did you think I didn't think it beat it? I thought it beat it. Because that's also, against the culture, the norm, or whatever. Do it. 8 tracks. I remember 8 tracks. What I remember about 8 tracks is we had an 8 track of a Rolling Stones record, and John, maybe you remember it, but You know how the 8 tracks, they would take like a minute to get to the next track? For some reason, you still have a car that plays cassettes? Oh my. Dennis, that is something. I don't think many people have that. That is amazing. Very cool. Um, but we had a Rolling Stone album that, and I forget what song it was, but it automatically switched to the next track. It didn't like pause. Like normally the 8 track, it would pause before it would go to the next track, and then it would pause when it could. And it was in the middle of a song, and it was just like I somehow got like a hair in my mouth. There, okay. It somehow got the track to just like automatically go. So that's all I have for you today. Oh, wait, I'll play one more. I ran as fast as I could down to the storefront corner, peeking over the rows, hoping to see the promise of the Ferris wheel, part of the sphere, winking back at me from the sky. I could see colors, the lights all aglow. Oh, how they twinkle at night. It's time for the carnival. Can I go? Hop a ride on the merry-go-round. Let's glide to the top of the Ferris wheel. I can see everything better from here. Didn't have much to hope for, never dreamed of diamonds or rubies. Came by the crazy, honestly, and had to act sing from the movies. Ah, you should have seen me back then. I was drunk with desire. I wanted to be good at something, good to someone, prove them all to be liars. It's time for the carnival. Can I go? Ride on the merry-go-round. Let's glide to the top of the Ferris wheel. I can see everything better from here. I sit on the bench at Cape May. October lies mute on the shore. The church is a junkie's playground. The connies don't stop there no more. Yes, it's a bit chilly in autumn, but I'm still seeking thrills, and I have the right. No one should hold that against me. Everyone deserves to see pretty lights. It's time for the carnival. Can I go? Hop a ride on the merry-go-round. Let's glide to the top of the Ferris wheel. Doesn't matter how fast you go fast or slow as you might. All of life is a circle, catch as you can, don't hold on too tight. Just when you think you've gone forward, you might go backward again. Don't waste your time counting accomplishments if you can't count on your friends. It's time for the carnival. Can I go? Hop a ride on the merry-go-round. Let's glide to the top of the Ferris wheel. I can see everything better from here. Thank you. Hey, Michael. Thanks for stopping in. And Sister Dot, if you're still there, happy early birthday. I know your birthday's coming up. And we have to set a date and celebrate. And I want to say, thank you so much. Oh, thanks, Karen. That's so sweet. And you made me think of like the whole idea of women beatniks. And there were women beatniks, they didn't get as much attention. And that's sort of just the way our culture is. Like women sort of, especially around that time, women were like the muses or the inspiration, or they weren't actually the artist. And, you know, they were. It's just that people didn't pay attention as much to the women. It was mostly the men. It was a lot of sexual exploration of men with each other. There was another story that I didn't include. Lucian, what's his last name? Chad? He ended up stabbing one of the other beatniks. I forget his name, Premerer, I think. Um, yeah, it was another murder. They tried to cover it up, and even Jack Kerouac, he went out with Lucian and went to the movie. So this is after he killed somebody, and he weighed him down and threw him in the river. This is in New York, and he's like, oh well, and you did it used the Boy Scout knife. So the guy that committed the murder, Lucian, I want to say Chad, he was like 19 maybe, and the guy he killed was like 30 something, and he claims he tried to rape him and all this weird kind of stuff. And so when you get into this whole beatnik thing, it gets dark. It gets like really dark just because of the killings and a lot of prison, a lot of drugs. But there's a brilliance in there. It's like that whole creative movement. And oh, thanks, Kat. I got who knew the beatniks were thugs? We all thought they were cool daddy-o, dark glasses, wearing pre-hippie people. But man, it's dark. It's very dark. I think Jack Kerouac sold one drug to pay for another one that he was addicted to. It was like there was so much. Like, wow, it's amazing these people did live as long as they did. But yeah, so that was Beatnik Night. Michael, you missed the weird part of this. Well, maybe you haven't. It's still weird. But great to see you here. I want to catch one of your shows, even a replay. I got to find them. I don't seem to be able to, align. But Nancy Hebner says happy birthday to my sister Dot. And my sister Dot can't see that because she's on Facebook. But so I'm telling you, people are wishing you happy birthday. And Nancy Hebner, I'll see you tomorrow at our Dreamcatchers. We have a Dreamcatchers meeting. The start of coffee houses. Oh, wow. That's right, Dot. And that was the East Village whole movement. That's right. That's why Danny Stevens was telling me I should play some Bob Dylan, which I should have. Have a great week. Thank you so much for this. I will see you next week. And thanks for coming and being here and listening and sharing this time with me. It means the world. And have a great night. Bye.